Do you remember your last holiday? Write a comment down below. I'm sure you do. It's such a great feeling, such a relief to leave all the stress, worries, and sorrows behind at home or at work, and to have some days or even some weeks for yourself to relax or to spend time with family and friends, to go on an adventure or whatever. Usually, we save up some money to enjoy our holiday to the fullest, to eat whatever we want to eat without looking too much at the prices, to check in a nice hotel or rent a car or whatever it may is. And it's the same for me. I always love to travel, and since my first vacation, I was in love with going on vacation. It started when I was 3 years old. When I was 3 years old, I had the first big vacation with my family. We went to Greece on a plane. So it was my first time flying with a big plane. The the plane took off, and after a while we reached our maximum height and we were flying over the clouds. I was sitting on the legs of my mother and looking out of the window and I was completely flashed. It looked so amazing. Everything looked so small, and the landscape, all the looked so different, all the colors, and it was beautiful. Completely mind blowing for a 3 years old. And even the start of the plane was really mind blowing. Imagine a 3 years old, and it was my first time feeling this brutal raw force pressing me into this seat, and feeling the speed and all the power of the plane and the engines mixed up with all these feelings of gratitude, joy, love, excitement, ecstasy, pure bliss, where because I was with the people I love the most, looking forward to a great holiday, and this all mixed up with this rush of adrenaline and dopamine that was amazing. It really influenced my life. And I guess I got addicted at 3 years old to adrenaline. It was so great. And when we went up and cruising over the clouds, me looking out of the window on my mother's legs, a little bit later, a stewardess came by and she asked me if I want to visit the pilot, if I want to say hello. And I said, of course, I would love to. So she took me and my father. We went to the cabin. She opened up the cockpit door, and I saw all these lights, all these switches, all these panels, the steering wheels, and the pilot and the co-pilot, and of course this big window with this amazing view, even better than the small window on by my seat. I was so lucky. I was so lucky. This was in 1996. So if you if you buy a plane ticket, if you fly with a passenger plane, I guess it's illegal now to go and visit the captain. It changed in 2001, and so I was really lucky. It was amazing, and I could feel the energy of the co-pilot and the pilot and the stewardess. There was such a harmony. I could see it in their eyes. They were shining, glowing. It was such, I can definitely promise you that these guys, they loved their job. They were so super happy. And they saw me totally excited and grateful. So we all amplified this beautiful energy together. It was so nice. Even the holiday itself was beautiful, but the traveling with the plane was the best start I could ever imagine. When we landed in Greece in our hotel, I was swimming my first time at the sea. So beautiful with my father. We rented a surfboard, for windsurfing with this big um, sail. With this big sail, we tried our best. Every time we got up on the surfboard, we flipped over, and yeah, we never made it, but we had a lot of fun trying it. So I also fell in love with the pool. We had a great pool, and the whole day I was jumping in and out of the pool. I remember one day I woke up in our hotel room. I jumped out of bed. I was completely excited. Every day, the first thing I did, I went alone to the pool, uh, jumping in. So I jumped out of bed. I was so excited. I was looking for my diving glasses, and I took them, I put them on, and my father and my mother, they woke up and they told me, "Hey, wait a minute." I asked, what's happening? You still are in your pajama. You need to change your clothes. And it was so funny. I was a little bit fat, and I had no hair because my hair started to grow when I was 3 or 4 years old because they were so blonde you couldn't see them. I looked so funny. And yeah, it was an amazing, great holiday. And I got lucky because I grew up in a middle class family. We had the privilege to go on vacation like once a year, and not every year, but mostly. So we did a lot of traveling until I was 14 years old. And there was a special thing. The thing was, every time the vacation ended, I got really sad and I never wanted to leave. Maybe you know this feeling. And it really, really bothered me. It made me curious. I wanted to know what's this feeling of holiday? What is it made of? And why I'm not able to take it with me at home? And why I'm not able to stay in this feeling? It made me really curious. I started to study this feeling of holiday. No joke. And I learned a big lesson on all of my travelings I did over the time. Now looking back, I had a big learning lesson. And the thing is, I noticed as a child, I come from a privileged, like a rich country in Europe, and not so much people are starving, or we have a nice life here. But the thing is, everyone is, or most people are stressed. Most people are rushing around. Most people, or many people, have fights in their family, and they all can't wait to go on vacation. Everyone gets excited planning their vacation months before or weeks before, and you get excited just thinking about your holiday, and you can't wait to go on holiday, spend a lot of time together or alone, whatever, and to just enjoy. And if you can come home, you feel like normal again. And normal, it's not the best feeling. It's like, I don't want to go to work, and this sucks and that sucks, and so many things to complain about, so many stress, so much pressure. And it never felt right for me. I felt something is off. Something is off. I asked also people and my parents, what's the difference? Why can't it be always like holiday? And yeah, but it's because we need to work, we don't like the work, and all this stuff. And the problem was I never believed it, but I I never believed it fully, but parts of me I started to become the same person. I also had always big goals and dreams, and big goals and dreams are necessary, are good, in my opinion. They keep us striving. But the thing is, many people fall into this trap of comparison, to compare ourselves with other people, and we are not really happy, we are not really grateful for what we have, even if we have so much things and more money than many people on earth. And that made me really sad, and I also felt into this trap. I also My number one priority always was money, because money could buy happiness. I always knew, okay, if I buy this thing, I will be extremely happy. But until then, I'm not. I have to wait until I get this, and then I'm happy. And that's the biggest illusion, the biggest trap, the biggest recipe for misery that you can have. And it took me like over 25 years to figure out how to how to deal with it and how to come back to my true nature, to find myself and my joy and my happiness again. And what one thing extremely bothered me, every time, or with my all my travelings, I visited a lot of poor countries and a lot of pure, but poor people with very simple houses, with sometimes not enough food, and yeah, uh, sick, also sick, and without being able to pay the medical bills, and people which are really suffering. But the thing was, I met many poor people who invited us to share with us our food or their food, and to to welcome us and to appreciate us so very much, and to send us so much love, to make us feel like better than home, to amplify this holiday feeling, even if they have like nothing. And I met so many amazing people who were so happy every day, and I can really say that because I stayed in some countries for more than a few weeks, months, even years sometimes. So I met when I was, and that's the thing, why holiday this holiday feeling is made out of pure joy, love, and gratitude, because there is something special. But every day is something special. There is no need for more money or for more things or more, because if you are born, you already won, you already have the biggest gift. And for every new day we could, if we want, and if we are trained enough, we can feel this special feeling of love, this mix of love, joy, gratitude. But like I said, especially in richer countries, many people, they cannot, they start to take things for granted. And so we lose gratitude and joy. We need the next best thing to get this kick of dopamine again and this adrenaline rush. We are all addicted to, or most people are highly addicted to their own dopamine and adrenaline without even realizing that's addiction. You notice it when it's very late, when it's impacting your life in a negative way. So when, especially for example in South America, I shared a little bit of my South America story in my last videos, and I remember a very profound day. I always, when I was young, I had this big goal, not just to become a pilot. After my first plane flight, I knew I'm a pilot. I don't want to fly commercial planes with passengers, but I know I will make my private pilot license. And the next big dream for me was I want to have a family, a wife and kids when I'm 25 years old. I want to be financially free when I'm 25, and I want to be able to spend every single day with my family and my kids. I want to raise my kids, not any institution. It's still a wish of mine, but I failed. I couldn't make it, and I never made it to this goal at the age of 25. But when I was in South America, it was around this age when I was 26, 25, 26, or 27, something like that. I was living with a family in South America, and on this property with like 50 or 60 acres, and we had a lot of sugarcane. We had like a field with 14 acre of sugarcane or something, and we did everything with bulls and by hand, with a machete and with one tool. It's called asada in Spanish. I don't know how to say it in English. Everything by hand. It was brutally hot. It was very difficult. So we planted, maintained, and nurtured with fertilizer the sugarcane until we could harvest it. And one day it was harvest time. And we started to cut every single sugarcane by hand. It was so brutally hot, hard to describe. I was dying. I was really dying. And I always was half naked. I was running around in my shorts, in very short shorts, because I couldn't use clothes because I was sweating like never before in my life. I just had my sombrero and and my machete, and I worked. But the thing is, sugarcane has these big leaves, and they are razor sharp, and they have like hairs, and these hairs are like spikes. They they go into your skin. They not just cut you, they go into your skin, and then you have like an infection, and it's very painful and not so funny. So we started to cut every single cane by hand, over 14 acres. It took us over a month or something. And I thought they are crazy. People, you're crazy. How to do this by hand? I thought it will never end. And we separated, we had to peel the leaves off of the cane, and we put the cane at one pile, and we made another pile, big piles of leaf with this nasty dried out leaves, and also some fresh leaves. They got really high. And we got help from a neighbor, and one of our neighbors helped us to do the work, and he came with his family. with his wife. And that's brutal work. That's really, really hard work for a man. And here he comes with his wife, uh, not too big. And I thought, holy Jesus, that's. How can this wife? It's too. Yeah. And she brought her two kids. One was like 3 years old, and another 4 or 5. And the woman took the two kids and set it into this pile of leaves. So nasty. But the children doesn't seem to be bored. They they were sitting in the brutal heat in these sticky, nasty leaves, and the mother they gave two machetes to them, short machetes, not too sharp, but still sharp enough, with a small sugarcane, and they were playing with their sugarcane, and we were working. And I got this memory of my dream that, yeah, I don't made it to my dream, 25, financially free. Here I am, poor like other poor people without nothing, working my ass off in a sugarcane field. And a part of me felt like lost. I felt like, what the heck is going on? And another part of me, I started to observe, and I saw us working, the whole family, and the children, they were playing in these nasty leaves. They had fun. They had no problem. They didn't know better. And they made the best out of it. We were singing, we were joking every single day. We had our lunch package and stuff like that, with every day the same food. Some beiju they call it, and out of manioc and maize, uh, yeah, maize flour is the name, maize and manioc flour, and some eggs, and sometimes a sausage or something. And every single day they were so grateful for the same food, for the same hard work, for the same company. We had so much fun, and they spent time with the little kids, hard working. And then I noticed the fail, the error, the mistake we have in so many privileged countries. I saw these extremely poor people having much more gratitude, much more love for each other every single day, while sometimes starving, sickness, or whatever. Every single day, so much gratitude and joy. And they don't just say, I'm grateful, or I love this or this. You can see it and feel it in their eyes, in how they speak, in their body language. It was so healing for me. I wish for everyone who has some struggles or mental health things, or also other disease, go travel, go and meet other people, because it completely transformed my life. This gratitude. And so I learned there is a difference. Many Western people, many people I know from my family, friends, and social environment, they say they love something or they are grateful, but they are not in this frequency. They just think they are happy or are laughing, but they lost the connection. They are always in their mind thinking for the next better stuff, or they think, if I have this, then I will be. But that's bullshit. That's that's what sickness is made of. That's a recipe to get sick and sad and angry and frustrated. That's how I find my happiness and my joy over time again, because It was like they were infecting me with this gratitude and joy every time my 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 neighbor, doesn't matter if it's lunchtime or if we eat the same thing over and over again for every break, for every work, he was so happy. And like I said, you can see it in their eyes. And it's just, it was so uplifting, and I felt so much love. They treated me like their own son and like a year-long friend. And that's where I learned what we lost, what so many people lost: their happiness, their joy, their faith. And what's the result out of it? The result is chaos, destructive families, destructive relationships, sickness, disease, and depression, so many stuff. Even if we have so much things. So that's how I learned that it's an attitude. Doesn't matter if you are sick or poor or someone died or something. Of course, there are emotions to process it. To we feel sad as humans, or angry or whatever. But there is a difference if you grieve and feel angry and sad for days, months, and years, and you cannot let go of it, and you intoxify yourself. You make it a habit. You get addicted to this rush of um, adrenaline, dopamine, and whatever. And yeah, so the opposite is, I saw so many people suffering, but they still had their faith. They still were able to feel a massive amount of gratitude and happiness and joy each and every single day. And no matter what the circumstance are, so many happy people smiling the whole day. Even if there is nothing to smile, they know there is something to smile. And yeah, that's also like the message which I want to share today. It I don't want to make it too long, so I leave it there again. That's my story, my message for today. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to support my channel, hit the like button, and you could write the word traveling in the comment section if you don't know what to say. It would really help me out with the algorithm. He loves this engagement, and feel free to share anything else. I love to read your comments and to interact with you. And yeah, I wish you all the best and see you in the next video.